Alright, I got an update. Here, as you can tell, I got a betta fish. As you can tell, he's a very beautiful betta. He's a very beautiful white betta with one glaring problem, a tumor on his side. But with that said, as you can tell, since I'm uploading this in 4K, he's a very beautiful, beautiful betta. Now, when I went to the store today, or the pet store, I only thought I'll just be getting some filter supplies and one goldfish. I did not expect getting this guy here because I just inspected. I only got him, and I only have him because he's a free betta fish. That's the only reason why I have him. So, as you can tell, he's a dragon scale. And he's a very beautiful dragon scale. And this is the goldfish I got. This will be the last goldfish I get. And as you can tell, he is covered in ick. And I already got some ick, and I got some stuff to cure ick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting him into a 1-gallon tank that's going to be inside my bathroom. It will be heated and filtered. And he'll be in that tank until his ick is cleared. And since he's small, he can be in that 1-gallon tank until his ick is cured. Once that is done, hopefully by then, what will happen is that I will have the table, which I actually had the top for already made. I'll have the table fully built, and I'll have the tank bought and set up. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to move these guys out of this 2.5, put them into the 5.5, give this guy the 2.5 right here until he gets bigger, and then move him into this tank. So by then it's probably going to be something like 4 or 5 months down the road until he gets big enough to where I feel like he'll be safe inside this tank without him having to accidentally get nipped on or anything by these guys here. And with that said, once that happens, I'll end up moving one of these guys into this tank. Hopefully by then I'll have an actual sand bottom and like little plants and whatnot so the goldfish can hide in. But that's my plans. What I'm also going to do to house this guy is I'm going to place him in the 2.5 I just showed, but I'm not going to place him in there instantly. I'm just going to have him in the cup for around 24 hours or so I can have an idea how he's going to react to the fish in the tank. And then when I do put him in there, I will be watching him and the fish interact. And if I see any major fighting or anything like that, I'm going to pull him, and I'm going to take one of my last setup tanks I have, which is a 1-gallon. Get that thing set up for him. The only reason why I want to put him in this tank here is because it has a heater and a filter system. And it has that little tube there so it can easily hide in that little tube if you wanted. I know bettas and angels can't get along or shouldn't get along or you shouldn't do that, but there are YouTube channels out there where there are bettas and angels in there, in the tanks in their cooperating and being friends with each other. But just because a few bettas get along with angels doesn't mean this betta will get along with angels. I don't know what's going to happen, so like I said, I'm going to be monitoring them. I mean, as you can tell, these two are definitely interacting with each other, and he's not flaring at the goldfish. So that's pretty interesting. But with that said, I'm going to now set this guy's temp tank and get this guy set up in the 2.5. Alright, the goldfish is in. As you can tell, he's a pretty nice looking little goldfish. But like I said, this is a 1 gallon. This is only temporary until its ick is cleared up. And of course I have a heater in there. I have the heater set to 74. I know I can put it to 78, but I have it set to 74. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let this tank run with the filter for around 24 hours or so before I start doing medication. I want him to get used to the flow rate of the tank. And of course here I have the air pump that came with the filter. Normally I want to use this air pump because it's noisy, but I was hitting the limit of the air pump I'm using to power something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 air powered systems in 4 tanks. I was hitting the limit of what that air pump can do. So I just duct taped this thing to the tank lid of my toilet here, and it's just going to run like this for about a week to 2 weeks or so, and then I'll put this filter, I mean not the filter, but the air pump here away, and then I'll be placing placing this newer filter system from this tank into this tank that currently houses my betta fish as a tuma. And as you can tell, that's why I'm going to be replacing that filter, because that filter doesn't work. For some reason or another, this filter here doesn't work right. I have no idea why. As you can tell, it doesn't. As you can tell, it's bubbling up quite a bit. Well, granted, if I can get it to stop auto-focusing on the tank lid. But as you can tell, it's not really running correctly. I've tried cleaning it, and that didn't work. But yeah, I'm going to be replacing that filter too. For a free betta fish, he's a beautiful betta fish. Oh, he's flaring a little bit at the angel. That one that's currently picking at the cup, I've had him for a little over a week and a half to 2 weeks now. And as you can tell, he's doing just fine in the 2.5 gallon tank. So stop your complaining about him being in a small tank, especially considering I already told you what I'm going to do with him. And I really would like to know if this guy's male or female. If it's a female, I'm totally calling it Cure Me. This one, I'm just going to call it Big Mama, or Big Daddy, or whatever male or female it is. But sorts are now clearing up. They're not that active because I removed so many fish from this tank. If there were more golds in this tank, these guys would be a lot more active. But it seems like they're getting along just fine. But with that said, I think that's it for now. I'll do another video probably in the next few days with an update on my Tumor Betta and my Black Miranda. I believe it's a Black Miranda, I'm not sure. And I thought I'll end this video on these guys here. Ever since I put them in this tank, their colors have just popped. Even though this tank is too small for 4 goldfish, their colors have popped in this tank. They've gotten their colors back. I don't know why, but when they're in that 20 long, their colors are dull.